This Amateur Radio Roundtable is brought to you in part by ICOM America. All right, well, good evening to everyone out there. Hey, I'm kind of running alone here. Kathy, my producer, is not with us here tonight. Let me show you. She normally will be right over there at another PC over there, but she's not here tonight. So I think she's in a chat room. Maybe she's watching a little bit. But anyway, we're going to make it without her. And Marty commented earlier that tonight's show is going to be, what did you say, Marty? No
adult supervision.
Okay, no adult supervision, and it might be like that. Although we do have Jill in the chat room, maybe she can help there. So let me get back here and get the show back on track here. Welcome. Today is Tuesday, March 28th. Man, it's almost the end of the month again. It's amazing how fast time flies here. But you're watching Amateur Radio Roundtable. Let me get my audio up. Amateur Radio Roundtable. And we're here on W5KUB every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And in the, spring to summertime, the universal time is 0100 for you people outside the U.S. if you want to tune in. Also, just wanted to say we've got our audio running on WBCQ, world-famous international shortwave station up in Monticello, Maine. Up here we have Lord Robert. He's controlling the station now, and he's got his finger on the little beeper. If we say anything wrong, Robert will beep us. But no, I'll take it back. WBCQ is a free. I'm lost for words. Basically, free speech. There it is, free speech, and they've always been that. So I don't think we'll get beeped tonight. So I want to say hello to Robert up here in WBCQ and all you guys out there listening on shortwave. And if you'd like to tune in, if you've got the internet there, go to W5KUB.com, W5KUB.com, and you can watch the show tonight, and you can get in the chat room and have fun with everybody else there. Want to just let everybody know, shortwave listeners and our ham radio visitors out there, go up to the top of the page, W5KUB, and click on Facebook, and we'd love for you to join our Facebook group for our webcast. You can see all the pictures and who's going to be on the show, and it's just a great place to, put your ham radio pictures. We've been taking shack pictures and showing everybody's shack, but we didn't get any this week, so we won't be having shack pictures this week. And Lord Robert just said beep, 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 so I don't know what I said, but Lord Robert is paying attention up there in Monticello. And I'm sure he's still got about 3 feet of snow, and it's a challenge sometimes to keep that shortwave station on when you get snow and ice up there. Thank you, Robert, for all you do. So tonight we're going to talk about CQ. We're going to talk about the contest that we just had this past weekend. We're going to talk about the Houston Hamfest. And then I'm going to talk to you a little about our trip to Dayton and what we're going to do up there, and what we're going to offer our viewers out there as far as prizes, and tell you how you can win a bunch of prizes. We've opened up our prizes yesterday for donors to donate prizes for our webcast, for our hunts, for our Dayton Hamvention webcast, and just in 2 days, we've already received over $3,000 in prizes to give out, and that's just 2 days. So a lot more coming in over the next days, so stay tuned. We're posting them on our Facebook group. So let me take us out to Rich, and let me see if I can get Rich in here. How you doing, Rich?
Hey there, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. I need to adjust.
Your producer with you, but I have mine,
we
should
producer.
be in good shape.
Well, that's cool.
In charge as usual.
There's our adult supervision.
So does that producer ever cause you any problems there in the shack?
Never. Except for occasionally knocking things over.
All right. Well, I've got a friend down here, Glenn Popel. He's got cats, and boy, they steal his parts off his workbench and cause all kinds of problems. He has to watch them close. Well, hey, tell us about CQ magazine, and you got anything interesting coming up? read my last month's issue. I'm ready for the next one.
Well, there's always something interesting coming up. I would be in big trouble if there wasn't.
Yeah.
And but the April issue is particularly interesting, and we've got first of all, we are debuting a new column on medium and low frequency operating that's edited by John Langridge, WB5NJD. John is a longtime experimental operator on 630 meters with some 2200 meter experience as well. And the FCC's decision on its notice of proposed rulemaking for letting us on those bands is out for circulation among the commissioners. So hopefully they will be finalizing it and announcing it pretty soon. But it's definitely coming down the road. So we're ready for it with tips for our readers on what they can expect in the way of activity and propagation, how to build an antenna for a very long wavelength in a small piece of land, and operating tips and things like that. So that's going to be appearing quarterly starting at the April issue.
Well, I'm interested in it. I'm interested in a lot of things. I just don't make the time, Rich, but I'm interested in that low frequency stuff, especially now that it's starting to become popular again. And I'm going to need some help building antennas for that. Well,
you can rely on John's column to help you with that. He's already got one, basically a big loading coil on a vertical, so that you can use, say, an 80 meter vertical, or even something a little shorter, with a big loading coil that you don't need a huge piece of land to be able to get on the bands. And they're already getting quite popular. They're already authorized for use in a lot of different countries. The U.S. is kind of slow on this one. And so there are a lot of countries, including Canada, that are already quite active. And we have a good number of experimental stations authorized by the FCC who have been learning about propagation and antennas and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to this column too. It's going to be very, very helpful to a lot of people.
I think it'll make a good show here maybe this year.
I think it might, especially once we get authorized to actually use the bands.
Right.
We have a sneak preview by your buddy and mine, Joe Eisenberg K0NEB, of Hamvention's new home at the Greene County Fairgrounds in Xenia, Ohio. A little photo preview. Of course, being the April issue, we have the single sideband results of the 2016 CQ Worldwide DX contest.
My favorite.
And we've got two history articles, one personal and one geopolitical. The personal one is interesting. It's the story of a World War II radio spy who became a ham radio operator after the war. Jim Doyle, W3CKU. He's still going strong out in Pennsylvania. He spent the war in the Aleutian Islands intercepting Japanese radio transmissions. Fascinating story. And we have the latest in Ed Richmond W4YO's series on DXing history, this one on DXing from the Horn of Africa, a place that's very much in the news today. So can look forward to that too. And being April, of course, we have our annual visit from Professor Emil Heiseluft, who is shedding light this time on a not yet announced FCC decision on a petition to create an exclusive amateur band at 474 terahertz.
Who is this? This is not April Fool's, is it?
Emil Heiseluft, who has been in every April issue of our magazine for the past 40 years.
Okay, I got you.
And in our columns, as we started out in the beginning with our new low frequency, medium frequency column, we go down to the opposite end of the spectrum from 474 terahertz to a visit with ham radio below 500 kilohertz. Joe K0NEB's monthly kit building column features a DIT meter kit, And this is real interesting. Tom, you probably remember this as I do. Back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, a grid dip meter was a standard piece of test equipment in many, many ham shacks for figuring out resonant frequencies of antennas and things like that. And then they kind of just disappeared into the ether someplace. And now they're making a comeback without the grid this time, since you don't have a tube involved.
Well, I always wanted one, but I was so poor I never owned one.
I haven't either, so we're in good company there. Now you can, because Marty's got one. Is that a Heath kit, Marty?
Yes.
Bring Marty's picture up here.
Let's see what Marty. Let me see if I get Marty in here. Let me see.
Get Marty's picture in here.
Let's see. Here we go. There's Marty. Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, now I remember that. That's an oldie right there.
Solid state dip meter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an old one there, Marty. That was made before you were born.
Most Heath kit stuff was.
I didn't catch what you said.
I was calling you old.
Oh, okay.
Most Heath kit stuff was built before he was born.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay. All right. Well.
So the one that Joe is building is 21st century grid, dip meter minus the grid, and reasonably priced. And so, Tom, you and I may actually be able to afford to have our dip meter of our very own very soon. We've also got our Communications Horizons column by Rob DeSantos, K8RKD, who's taken a broad brush picture of this year's communication trends. And we've got two antenna-focused columns this month. QRP editor Scott Rout, KA8SMA, offers practical antennas and tips for low-power operators. And antennas editor Kent Britton, WA5VJB, explains why your half-wave dipole isn't a half-wave long. And it's not an April story.
All right.
Two columns on working meteor scatter with the new MSK144 digital mode. Learning curve editor Ron Oshu, KO0Z, takes the beginner's perspective, and we get a slightly higher level experienced VHFer's perspective from VHF Plus editor Tony Emanuel, who also presents his new call sign, K8ZR. And finally, propagation editor Thomas Hood, NW7US, says solar conditions are ripe for a very active aurora season this spring. So I'll bet MSK144 will be useful for aurora as well, for getting short bursts in off of the aurora as well as meteor scatter.
I'm kind of embarrassed that I've been a ham 54 years. I've really never got into the digital side of things. I did try some packet maybe 30 years ago, but it took 3 days to get a message across the state back then. I mean, things must be a lot better now, right?
Well, packet is a very interesting story. Packet kind of disappeared in the 90s and is starting to make a comeback now. It's in emergency communications. Of course, the original DX cluster was packet, and there's still local links with packet. It's interesting you mention it, because that was one of the first things I did for CQ, was a couple of articles on how to work packet. There was a whole bunch of articles in all the different magazines in the early 80s about how packet works, and nothing on how to work it. And I had put together my TNC and got it all hooked into the radio and heard the blurps of packet signals and could not copy anything, could not make any contacts with it, and I hadn't the vaguest idea of what I was doing, except that I was doing something wrong. And an issue of CQ came out with had a RIDI special every year at that time, and big burst on the front cover of including packet. I figured, great, I'm going to figure out how to finally make some contact with this. And it was yet another article on how it works. And I sent a note to publisher Dick Ross, K2MGA. At the time, I wasn't working for CQ. and said I was kind of disappointed that why don't you have anything on how to work it instead of just how it works? And he said, well, you haven't written it yet. And I said, but I don't know the answer. I need to find out from somebody. And he said, well, you find out and tell the rest of us.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how I got started writing for CQ. So
cool.
Good. The digital stuff today, though, is really fascinating. A lot of it is to the great credit of Joe Taylor, K1JT, who has put together this suite of digital programs under the umbrella of WSJT, Weak Signal by K1JT. And he uses modulation techniques that he developed for his astrophysics work or radio astronomy work at Princeton and applied to ham radio. And it uses very excuse me, I have to pick up a can again. It uses very sophisticated algorithms to send digital messages in short bursts that really can come in under the noise and be detected and decoded. So it's a really fascinating subject area. And, it's not just VHF stuff anymore. There's a lot of it on HF, the Weak Signal Propagation Reporter or WHISPER network, along with the Reverse Beacon network, which is not one of Joe's developments, but the two of them together help with a lot of learning about propagation, and it can lead us into talking with Marty about the WPX contest this past weekend. There was a lot of propagation out there that you might not expect.
Oh, yes.
We may be on the declining side of the sunspot cycle, but there were still quite a few people to talk to on 10 and 15 meters. So just to wrap up, the digital edition of the April issue of CQ will be in people's inboxes by the end of this week, and we are hoping to have the print issue out within a week or two as well. The March issue is going in the mail this week. We're very sorry for the delays on the print edition, but it's our plan to be back on schedule within just a few weeks here. And with that, Tom, why don't I bounce it back to you?
Wait, let me stop you for a second.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask an important question. You're telling me about the magazine, but if I don't have CQ, how the heck do I sign up to get CQ?
Good question. You go to our website, www.cq-amateur-radio.com, and there's many buttons there that let you sign up, either for print or digital. And we've got a special going on right now, our Spring Fever promotion. So you can even save a few bucks on your subscription at the same time. So thank you, Marty, for
great. Hey,
aspect.
Hey, Rich, I saw Dougal behind you climbing across your shelf back there. Looks like going to get into a little trouble.
Actually, that was Dee Dee, the generally never seen by anyone outside of the family cat. She's in the window right now. Let's see if I can
see something in the window. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I see the paws in the window. Yeah, I sure do.
She's in the window, looking out under the front porch. Dougal is still here in my lap, so you've all gotten to meet our second feline family member today as well.
Yeah, and I do see you've got an antique phone back there, man, an old rotary dial. Yeah, is it still working for you there? You got it hooked up?
No, only because we've gotten rid of all of our landlines.
Oh, okay.
Phone itself still works, but we don't have anything to connect it to.
Well, that's cool, man. Hang on to that as long as you can.
Planning to.
All right, well, thanks for giving us a report on CQ and what's coming up here. It'll be interesting to read some of those articles, and I'm really wanting to get into this low frequency stuff. So just hang in here with us, Rich. Don't go away, and you can chime in whenever you want to. But we've got Marty S Sullaway KC1 Chicken with Fries with us. And he was going to talk about the CQ, the WPX contest. Now, I have not participated in it myself, but Marty, why don't you tell us about it, what the contest is, and just give us some detail on it.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Well, let's just start by giving you some. Well, okay, let's start by. Okay, can you see my face?
I
you want me to?
See you. No, I'll adjust
so,
it. Yeah, you can back up a little bit. Let's see. That's okay. I got you.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the CQ WPX is the, I guess you could call it the prefix contest. Multipliers in this contest are prefixes. So when I say a prefix, I mean kind of the prefix of your call sign. So mine is KC1, or yours would be W5, and that means your score you want to work multipliers basically, which are prefixes. So this contest is unique. If you compare it to another contest, say the CQ Worldwide, this contest has probably the most multipliers of any contest that exists out there. Feel free to interrupt me, Rich.
Okay.
It's sponsored by CQ. I should point that out. It is managed, let me see if I say this right, by a complete volunteer committee. And they do a fantastic job kind of dealing with all the log adjudication and the awards, and it's a volunteer effort. Did I get that right?
Yes, the volunteers who run our contest are among the most dedicated and incredible people. They really do a tremendous amount of very, very sophisticated work behind the scenes to make the contest run smoothly, and the aftermath of the contests, adjudicating the scores, as you said, and figuring out who placed where, getting certificates together, things like that. An interesting thing on the prefixes, not only does the WPX have the greatest number of prefixes, but it's probably the only major contest out there where the number of prefixes can vary significantly from year to year.
By the year.
The number of multipliers, rather. For example, the CQ Worldwide, your multipliers are countries and zones. And
right. There's a set number of them.
Yeah, there's a set
I know
number of
when I finish.
Countries. And for the WPX, there are some countries that will authorize special prefixes just for this contest. They're not on the air any other time.
There's a lot of, how do I say this without sounding politically incorrect, contest call signs, let's call it that way. A lot of people have WPX calls. So for the example, I was on last weekend as KR1DX. And why KR1DX? Well, KR1, which is the prefix, is somewhat rare. You really don't hear a lot of KR1s on the air, which makes me more desired sometimes in the contest. And it's a fun call sign. One thing you have to note is, unlike the CQ Worldwide, which is one of the other very big DX contests of the year, or the ARRL DX contests, in WPX, because there are so many multipliers, going around and chasing those multipliers isn't always as effective or as important in I'd say in WPX compared to some of the other big ones, where the way you win WPX is not just by chasing multipliers, but by running very high rate, calling CQ, and working as many people as you can. The way this contest works is by, if you're in America, working other Americans on any frequency band is a 1-point contest. So you get 1 point for working in American, because that's, kind of easy. On the higher bands, so 10, 15, and 20, you get 3 points for working other continents, and I believe it's 2 points for Canada. Did I get? Yep.
Yes, that's right.
On the low bands, though, you get 6 points for intercontinental QSOs, and is it 4 points for Canada, or is it still 2?
I don't recall, because the software takes care of all of that. And that says something today with talking about the committee and with software. You don't have to really worry about calculating your score. except for a matter of strategy.
Right.
Because all of the logs, if you look at the Cabrillo logs, which is the format in which you're encouraged to submit them, they don't have points listed. They don't have multipliers listed. They have contacts listed, and that's all. And the exchange. But the contest committee software goes through all the logs and assigns the point values and assigns, designates the multiplier. So the contestant, even though it is a fairly complex scoring scheme, doesn't have to worry about doing the scoring.
For sure.
For strategy. And another thing you mentioned here that is a significant difference between WPX and other major contests is working other stations.
You can work Americans.
This is an everybody works everybody contest, whereas most of the other big ones, the CQ Worldwide and the ARRLDX contest,
You can't work
U.S. stations work almost exclusively DX stations. Now this is everybody works everybody.
And the other interesting thing you can note about the WPX is I get just as many points for working Europeans as I do working Caribbean, which isn't true in a lot of contests. Working outside of my well, not Caribbean, I guess. Caribbean's North America, some parts of the Caribbean. But I can work South Americans for just as many points as I can work Europeans. And one of the deceiving points of this contest are, while you can work Americans, if you're working Americans, you're losing. Because on the lower frequencies, on 40 meters, 80 meters, and 160 meters, I can get 6 points for working another continent, while I can only get 1 point for working Americans. And the other interesting thing to note, while I'm just kind of going over some facts before talking about the experience itself, is that a fun part of this contest for some is the fact that a single operator can only operate 36 hours out of the 48-hour period, which means you can actually get some sleep if you want to do a serious effort. And WPX is a contest where you can have a lot of fun and compete quite well with a modest home station. Even within that, WPX and also CQ Worldwide is quite neat because there are contests within each contest. So there's what's called overlays. And that kind of means that, I have my main class, maybe it's single operator, high power, unassisted meaning I don't use the DX cluster. But within that, maybe I'm entering a category called tri-bander and wires, for example, which is the fact that I'm using a tri-band antenna of some sort on 10, 15, and 20. That typically takes the form of a Yagi antenna, a single Yagi for that matter. And I'm using wire antennas on the low bands. So some sort of single element non-gain antenna typically. So that typically takes the form of a dipole. And that's a fun category because you can compete with people similarly sized to your station. And the overlay categories are kind of a fun way to do that. There's also the rookie class, for example, the rookie overlay, where you have to be licensed 3 years or less. That's a lot of fun to compete in. And I believe also there's the classic. Is there classic in WPX?
Not in WPX.
Not in WPX. Just in CQ Worldwide.
The idea behind the overlays is so that you're competing with people who are similarly equipped. The tri-bander and wires category is for your typical home station with 100 watts and fairly basic antennas, so that you're not competing in that category with the super stations that may be running multiple towers and monoband beams and a kilowatt. So it kind of evens the playing field in that regard.
Sure. Let me just give my story here, because I think that'll give some context when I go in to talk about the contest itself. So I operated a multi-single, which means one single, and multiple operators last weekend. And we made a little bit under 7 million points in kind of a not all that serious part-time operation. We probably only put 20 hours into the chair, or 25, when there was a maximum of 48 allocated. So we were just kind of having fun and, making points, although we did quite well, in my opinion. It's a respectable score. And I will say, though, the station was not small. The main tower is 100 feet tall, for example, and on that tower are 3 stacked tri-band antennas on 32-foot booms, which have 4 elements on 20 meters and 15 meters as well, and 8 elements on 10 meters. And there's 3 of those antennas stacked on the tower, and there is a 40-meter Yagi, and phased vertical antennas on 80 and phased vertical antennas on 160 meters. So I certainly was not using a small station. But I had a lot of fun.
That's the idea of the overlays, so that somebody like me with 100 watts and a multi-band vertical doesn't have to be competing with your station with all hardware.
Even if Rich was an amazing operator, which he is, and I'm not all that good, with my hardware, it would simply be impossible for him to do better than me. Just because there's a point in which being really loud helps a lot.
Really loud? Are you really loud?
Loud mouth, loud signal.
Yeah.
So I
hey, 7 million points. That sounds like a lot to me, man. I mean, did you come in any certain place?
We don't know yet. We'll know when the scores get published at CQ. I can tell by some online score reporting sites, kind of unadjudicated logs. There's a popular website in the contesting community called 3830 Scores, where people can kind of post their scores and their soapboxes or kind of their stories from the contest. And so far, it looks like we are well comfortably within the top 10 box in North America. So we had fun.
And Marty, do you know why 3830 is named that?
Yes, I do. Because after most major contests, if you tune to 3830, especially in the major DX contest, ARRL DX and CQ Worldwide, that is the frequency where these days it's really only the main multi stations. A K3LR, W3LPL, and now WE3C will come on frequency and announce their scores. In the past, it looked a little bit different, but that's what it is currently. It's kind of I did this frequency, if you will.
Yeah, before the days of the internet, that was where all of the major players got together after the contest to compare notes and brag about their scores.
Oh, wow.
The other cool thing that I think I should point out is there's been a big trend in contesting over the last years to what are called live scoreboards. And there's some controversy in here, but I won't get into that all that much. And live scoreboards are just what they sound like. People post their scores to a scoreboard on the internet, so you could compete with each other and track your score compared to your competitors in real time. The most popular scoreboard is called CQcontest.net. CQcontest.net. It's run by a bunch of Russians, and it's very, very popular. Most of the major multi-operator and single-operator stations have been posting their scores recently, which is really exciting because it adds an element of real-time competition to contesting, where typically you don't know how your competitors are doing. So that's a lot of fun.
Now, Marty, did you are people allowed to work the contest with remote systems?
Oh, sure. The short answer is yes, and I'm a heavy remote operator. And I think remote operating is a great practice. You just have to remember ethical remote operating can be used in these contests. So that doesn't mean I can't have a transmitter in Boston and a transmitter in California and a transmitter in Florida. So I can run Europeans in Boston, run Japanese stations in California, and run South America and Florida. No, that's not ethical remote operation. Nor should I be listening on those stations. That is not allowed in contests. But I can operate one station remotely, sure. And I've done that quite a bit in contests. Do you want to elaborate, Rich?
Well, you've done it, and I haven't, so you're more familiar with it. But basically, we had long discussions about this several years ago when remote operating first came on the scene, and you have to be careful to be sure that you are observing all of the laws regarding operating from wherever that actual station is. Your entry is considered to be the location of the station.
Of the transmitter, correct.
Right. And the rules that apply to having all the equipment in a certain radius and things like that all still apply.
Sure.
But you don't necessarily have to be in the same place. Now, technically speaking, you can be in a different country, but that's where it starts to get a little bit complicated in terms of being sure
licensing and
you're
regulation.
Authorized to operate from that country, and it gets kind of complicated with that. It's permissible in some cases and not in others. It's not a function of our contest rules so much as the regulations of different countries involved. But particularly if you're operating from a remote location in your own country and it's permitted by your country's rules, then
that's certainly acceptable. I know, for example, I have operated a lot of stations in the U.S. remotely, and I've also operated a station in Haiti remotely. And both are legal, and I had the appropriate licenses to do so. But remote operating is definitely something that's coming in amateur radio, if you like it or if you don't. I certainly do. And it's very much allowed by the contest. And that's definitely been something that's been disputed over the years. But kind of what we view as not so ethical remoting was once allowed under what CQ Worldwide called the extreme category, which was kind of cheat however you want. It's not cheating, I guess, for lack of a better phrase.
Well, the extreme category in CQ Worldwide was an experimental category.
Yes.
And the scores were not counted in the regular competition.
Sure.
So that you were not denying someone else of a well-earned opportunity to get a certificate or a plaque, but it was the idea was to promote new technologies and new ways of doing things in contesting, and it worked for a few years, and then the popularity kind of drifted off a little bit. An interesting thing on remote operating, our contest editor K3ZJ had an interesting situation a year or so ago. It may have been during the WPX. His contest, he lives in the Washington, D.C. area, and his contest station is in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And he's able to operate it remotely. And he was planning to go up to operate the contest from there, but there was a big snowstorm, and it became inaccessible. So he ended up operating it remotely from home without planning to. So that's an interesting reason for doing remote operating. Plus, of course, with the growth of antenna restrictions on a lot of people, that's the big growth area. If you can't put up a decent antenna where you live because of different rules, then the opportunity to use some of these remote stations lets you be active and participate in contests and DXing and things like that.
Sure, and I'm fairly confident at this point, based on scores I've seen, although it's not guaranteed. I believe the #1 multi-single last weekend was operating remotely. The team at Whiskey 2 Delta X-Ray made over 13 million points, a very big score, operating remotely with their butts in New York. But their transmitters in Eastport, Maine, as close as you could get to Europe, basically.
Well, what did you say there was in New York there, Marty?
Their butts. They were physically in New York.
I got you. Okay.
But the transmitter was in Maine, at a very good location, Eastport, Maine. It's basically as close as you could get to Europe without being in Canada. And they're on salt water. So, as many hams know, big cliffs, salt water, and close to Europe are all very good things for DX contesting. And they certainly did a good job with that. So remote is here to stay, and you can be competitive operating remotely.
I just want to put in a plug for a minute for the CQ WPX award. This is where the contest came from. We have an award for working prefixes, and this contest is a great opportunity, even if you're not competing to win in the contest. If you want to collect prefixes for the WPX award, it's a great opportunity to work a lot of different prefixes in a short period of time, including a good number of prefixes that are not on the air at any other time. So just something to keep in mind there as another good reason to get on and have some fun on WPX weekend.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Well, Marty, you got anything else you want to tell us about the contest? We wish you good luck.
Thank you.
And
I'm just trying to see if there are any questions in the chat room. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down there at the bottom. But no, thank you for having me on, and most definitely thanks for Rich's great commentary. He knows a lot more about this than I do. This has been a lot of fun. I hope you get on and enjoy the CQ WPX CW contest. If you got so excited from us talking about it now, May the 27th is the CW end of this contest, and it runs for 48 hours from 000 Zulu on Saturday to 23:59 Zulu on Sunday, or it works out to be 8 p.m. Eastern at on Friday night. It ends at 7:59 Eastern.
Okay. Hey, here's Sunday. A question from OZ2DAK. Where's OZ? Is that
Denmark?
What, Denmark?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Denmark. He's want to know: does WPX include satellite contacts?
The contest doesn't. The award does.
Yes.
There's a separate category in the award for satellite contacts.
Yeah, and Bill asked Marty, in this remote operations, they know you can operate remote phone, but does anybody operate remote CW?
Sure, lots of people do.
Okay, cool.
A lot of people are able to get remote stations where the latency, or the delay, I guess you could say, is less than 1 DIT at 30 words a minute. So remote technology is definitely here. I see a question, somebody asking, remote operations, where do you sign up? And Bill, the answer to that is, well, when we talk about remotes, there's a couple ways to look at it. Do you own a station that you can remote? Then obviously you could set your station up to operate remotely, and there's been numerous articles written about it, and I think I've actually talked on the show about it before. There are some services where you can either pay to play, such as remotehams.com, where people can offer up their stations, often for a low fee, to let you use their stations, or what I kind of view as the gold standard is a company called remotehamradio.com, and they offer some very nice remote solutions at very reasonable prices for operating their stations remotely. If you don't have a station, or you can't afford to build one, or you're in an HOA, they have stations that they will let you operate.
All right, so
I hope that answers your question.
Here's a question from Mark P. up in Kettering, Ohio. Can you operate remote from a mobile?
Yes. I've actually operated from a car, and I've also operated remotely from an airplane.
And the plane didn't crash, right?
The plane didn't crash.
Okay, cool. All right.
Basically, anywhere that you have internet access, or RF link to the remote station, you can operate from there as your control point.
I think the best comment the chat has been from KB3ZRO, and he said, the only remote operating that I get to do is with my TV remote, and I need help with that sometimes.
Yeah, I do too sometimes. Yeah. They get complicated, man. Technology is changing. Well, hey,
Jeff, no, that's not my tower.
Yeah. Well, Rich and Marty, thanks a lot for talking to us about the CQ WPX tonight. It was interesting. One of these days I'm going to join it, and Marty, I'm going to try to beat you.
I'm waiting for the competition. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna try to beat you, Marty, with my station. I'm not sure how, but I'll get a strategy together here. So anyway, hey, thanks again, everybody, for joining us here tonight, Rich and Marty, and have you back on here again real soon.
No trouble beating me. I had 112 contacts. So
very nice job.
112. Marty, how many do you have?
Let me tell you exactly. I believe it was slightly under 3,000.
Okay.
Part-time effort. We only put in around 20-something hours in the chair. I'm looking at my notes here on my second monitor, and the number is the magic number is. We see it right here. Okay, I have it now. The magic number is the number of contacts that it took to win, or not to win. We didn't win. What am I saying? The number of contacts it took to make the score that we made was... Now, where did it go? Okay, here it is. We made just shy of 2,400 contacts.
That's cool. And, the reason Rich made so few contacts, he could have probably equaled what you did, but then it would look bad like an inside job at CQ.
Right,
so
yeah.
He didn't want to do that. All right. Hey, guys, thanks a lot. 73s. We're going to move on with the show. Appreciate it. Stick around in the chat room. I'm sure there's still going to be more questions, Marty, that you guys can answer. So we're going to go ahead and talk about a few different things. Thanks a lot.
Good night.
Thank you.
See you in Dayton.
All right. We'll see you up there. All right. So let's see what's going on here. It's time. I guess I should make a couple announcements real quick. Oh, hey, we're 5 weeks away from Dayton Hamvention. I saw Michael Coulter, W8CI, join earlier. I don't know if he's in here now or not. I think he logged out. Michael is on the board of directors for DARA and very involved in the new Hamvention. Anyway, we've got us a space up there. We want to invite anybody that can get up there, come by and see us. We're going to be in Building 5. Building 5, we're going to be in space 5006. We're going to be a little crowded this year. We've got one space, so that was all we could get this year. But we're going to make it work. Now that everybody's in different buildings, it's going to present a slight challenge to us as far as, how we're going to bring the show to you. We built up a little device here. This has got a GoPro and a wireless mic set up here. And we're going to be able to carry this around outside or even to the other buildings. And at least we can capture interviews with various people throughout the other buildings, and then bring this back to the booth, and then take the file and broadcast it from the webcast. It may be a 30-minute delay, but that may be the best we can do. Plus, it might even get us a little bit better programming than we've had in past years, because, as you guys know, we have lulls where not much is going on, and then we have times where it gets really busy. So, just a couple notes, guys. We're gonna we opened up for prizes yesterday for our Hamvention webcast, and in 2 days we've already received approximately $3,000 in prizes to give out on the show, and we got more coming in. But we just want to tell you we got a lot of good prizes coming in, and if you want to look at prizes, go to the prize link in the menu at the top of our website, W5KUB. Click on Dayton 2016, and you'll see all the prizes we had last year we gave away. And this year is going to be very, very similar with probably some new prizes added. I want to say one thing. The trip cost us about $3,000 or more to make this trip. Internet alone last year was $700 for 3 days. And it becomes very, very expensive to do this. And I think anybody that's watched the Hamfest know that we work hard all day, and we're dragging at the end of the day when we go home, and we don't really get to see any of the Hamvention like we used to when we didn't do the broadcast, because when you're behind that little viewfinder or something, you don't see much. But what we're going to do this year, and we did it last year, is we're going to offer one prize. Now this is a CAA 500. This is the older model. But last year, and I've ordered the new CAA 500 Mark II. Let me show you a picture of that so I can show you what we're going to be doing here. This is the CAA 500 Mark II, and it is a very, very well-built antenna analyzer. This thing feels as heavy as a brick. It's a metal case, and it's very, very rugged. And we're going to offer that as a prize to those that donate to help us cover the cost of the trip. So what we're going to do is, for every $10 you donate, we're going to put your name in the hat just for that one prize, the antenna analyzer. This thing has a value of about $439 or something like that. So for each $10 that you donate, and there is a donate button at the top. Do not donate tonight. For each $10, we're going to give you a chance and put it in the hat for the Comet CAA 500 Mark II antenna analyzer. And for any multiple of $10, you get another prize. You get another chance in the hat. $20 gets you 2 chances. $30 gets you 3 chances. And for you big spenders out there, if you donate $1,000, and I know there's a bunch of you, if you donate $1,000, we will put your name in the hat 100 times. Now, there's not that many people that donate, so the odds are fairly good when you donate to try to win this one prize, the CAA 500 Mark II antenna analyzer. All other prizes are free. You don't have to donate. If you don't have money to donate, that's totally all right. We do this show for fun and to promote ham radio. So if you can't afford it, don't vote or don't donate. I said don't vote. Don't donate if you can't afford it. And enjoy the show, and maybe you'll win a prize. So we will do something on the website to notify you about this, where you can donate if you want to for a chance for that prize, and probably be PayPal. The donations for that one prize will be accepted from April 1st. That's in 2 or 3 days. From April 1st to Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. I think that's May 21st is that Saturday. So it's the beginning of April through Saturday night of Dayton. And then Sunday we will announce the winner. We'll have Rick Sternick, who's the president and owner of NCG, who is the U.S. distributor for Comet products. He will come and pull the name out of the hat, and then he will FedEx you your prize probably within a couple days when he gets back. So let's see. Let me get Joe in here. So Joe, just stand by a second. We'll get you in a minute. Can you hear me, Joe?
Yes.
Okay, just stand by. So that's what we're doing again this year, to do some fundraising. Again, like I said, $3,000 in cost to put this show on. And we are live for 5 days. We'll go live on our drive for 10 hours on Wednesday. We'll be live all day Thursday, setting up at Dayton. And there'll be a lot of people that come by that set up that same day and get on a camera. We'll be live Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we'll be live 5 days. We're going to be in Building 5. That's the same building. We'll be neighbors with Bob Heil of Heil Sound in Building 5 there. Okay, so for our shortwave listeners out there, thank you for joining us on shortwave. You're listening on WBCQ out of Monticello, Maine, United States of America on 5130. If you'd like to join us every Tuesday night, you can join us here on the web at w5kub.com, w5kub.com, and if you want to join right now, go to that website. If you can join us and get in the chat room. Again, we want to ask everybody out there to click on our Facebook link above and join our Facebook group for the show. Now, someone asked me, and I told them today I would tell you guys briefly how to win the prize. They were saying, how do you win the prizes? It's very simple. You just tune in during the days that we're giving out prizes, and if you're in a chat room, we've got a program called Hambot, and Hambot will pick your name, and he will call and say, "Are you there?" And if you're there, and if you say yes, I'm here, you will get the prize. So that's all you got to do to win a prize there. So we're going to go over in just a minute to Joe. So everybody, thanks a lot. Stand by. We got just something here I want to run, and then we'll be back with Joe Eisenberg. Spring forward. Time to put away those winter boots and spring forward with ICOM. Base stations, multiple transceivers, handhelds, and more. ICOM has all the equipment to help make your spring full of adventure. Get out and get mobile with ICOM. Communicate with the touch of your fingertips. Perfect for small spaces, the IC7100 base station is the ideal D-Star option to help those communicate anywhere. It has angled control head and touchscreen for quick, intuitive operation. A large internal speaker for clear digital audio. Is perfect for multiband and all-mode communications. Do you have spring travel plans this year? Back for a limited time, the IC7200 is a great option for hams wanting a device to carry out into the field. Simple and tough with IF DSP, digital noise reduction, and a USB port for PC control. Ideal for the ham on the go, try this IC7300. It's a high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with compact design, RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and an SD memory card slot. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios. Okay, and we're back, and just let me add one thing there. There was a question. We've got a lot of new people that have joined our group and joined the webcast over the past weeks and months. We do stream the drive live. We're 500 miles from Dayton. We start streaming live as soon as we leave the garage on Wednesday morning. For 10 hours. You will watch us drive for 10 hours, and sometimes interesting things happen. For instance, one year we were pulled over by the police doing pretty good speed, and everybody in the chat room was taking up a collection to bail us out of jail. So you never know what's going to happen. We do stream live from the car. We have the chat room from the car, so we can talk with you there. So, stick around with us, and you'll have a lot of fun with us here. Okay, so let's go out to Nebraska, and let's go out to Nebraska and see if I can get. Let me see if I can get Joe synced in here a little bit better. Here we go. Hey Joe, how you doing out there, man?
All right, Tom. How's the audio?
It sounds like you're on a high mic.
Well, that's good, because that's what it is. Hey, I've got something before I get started with my Houston Hamfest pictures. You know me, I always have a gadget, right? How many of you people know what this is? Okay? You see them advertised on TV. Okay?
Hey, I think I've got one.
Okay, but did you know you can do this? Alexa, ask QRZ who is W5KUB.
She must not can find me.
Is registered to Thomas C. Medlin. Would you like more details?
Yes.
Call sign W5KUB is registered to Thomas C. Medlin. This is a personal use license for Vanity. The license is active and expires on January 4th, 2018.
So you can look
is
up
cool.
call signs with it. Tom, did you know that?
I didn't know that. You know, I usually just walk through the kitchen and I say, mine is a Google. I usually say, hey, Google, put hot dogs on a shopping list. And she says, okay, I put them on a shopping list. But that's cool.
This thing, you tell it ask QRZ. You can't say QRZ, but you tell it ask QRZ who is, and we'll do it again here. Let's see. Alexa, ask QRZ who is K0NEB.
I'm sorry, I couldn't look up a license for KONEB.
K-O.
Maybe I heard it correctly. What was the call sign again?
K0NEB.
I'm sorry, I couldn't look up a license for KONEB.
You don't, hey, Joe, K-O-N-E-B, you don't exist, man.
Well, we'll try it again. K0NEB.
I'm sorry, I couldn't look up a license for WWTIA. Maybe I heard it incorrectly. What was the call sign again?
K0NEB.
I'm sorry, I couldn't look up.
Well, it sounds like it doesn't want to get me.
You've got a defective one, I can tell you, man.
It's funny.
I'll
Sometimes
try
it has
that. I'll try that on my Google. You know, everybody Google's got their own. It looks almost just like that, and I'll try it.
Alexa, stop. It's funny. Yeah,
And hey, Joe, the neat thing about that is that thing picks up any voice. I mean, I could say something right now, and Alexa would hear me, and would, you know, it could possibly do what I say. You know, like, Alexa, order me a new Porsche car.
Well, let me try it again. Alexa, ask QRZ who is K0NEB.
The call sign KOAIB is registered to William E. Bagby Sr. Would you like me to...
It got the wrong one.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Got
Okay.
AIB instead
Well,
of me.
they're talking about it in the chat room. I think they've actually figured it out. It says they can't handle the Nebraska Midwest accent. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, it was doing fine earlier, but I moved it. It used to be about 4 or 5 feet away, and I put it on my desk closer to me, and I think that's the problem because I'm.
Well, hey, just one more comment about that. There are stories where people have those in their home, and a TV commercial comes on, and Alexa hears the TV commercial, and it actually charges people's credit cards or orders stuff that they don't want. You know.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but just another toy for the shack. But I've used it to look up call signs. I'll just lean back and ask her what it is and who they are. It's pretty good. But like I said, when I moved it, I must have messed something up. But I'll put it back where it belongs. So I think we're about ready to show some pictures here, Tom. So
Sure.
Let's see how we can share this out. I have to go like this, and then you should be able to see my screen.
I do.
Okay, now the pictures are going to be kind of out of order because the camera changed number sequence. It went all the way through 10,000 and started at 1 again. So some of them are out of order. I do take a lot of pictures. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, what you're looking at here, these are two guys that come from China, and they market all around this country for Seed Studio. And they're known for making a lot of maker stuff and things like that, as well as a pocket-sized spectrum analyzer. Well, they have this soldering iron that I think is around $90. But if you'll notice, and I'm going to see if I can zoom in on this. I don't know if it'll let me see that. You can see the soldering iron is tiny, and it has a digital temperature display. And you can set the temperature up and down with that thing.
Can you ask it to look up a QRZ call?
No, you can't.
Okay.
But at least you can set the temperature. All right, and there I am hard at work. We had a group kit build. The first part was, and this, of course, was at the Houston Hamfest. This was on Friday. The first part was a soldering lesson where we made a blinky light kit. It's a Velleman kit, very simple. And it was a good chance to teach people how to solder the correct way before they started in on the Tuna Tin 2, which is one of Rex W1REX's kits. And so this is me almost getting my fingers burned here, showing him the right way to solder. It's really cool. Once you show them the right way, everybody does it the right way, and you get some beautiful looking connections. This is another shot. I'm hard at work there putting together the first kit with somebody there, and you can see everybody hard at work. I'm kind of like a one-armed paper hanger dealing with about a dozen builders, and it's a lot of fun. And then I usually sit down on a corner and people bring me their problems, and I help them desolder and fix things and so forth and get them working. And of course, the blinky light thing, everybody's worked. So when we were done with that, it was time to, well, here's another one of the blinky light kit. It was time to start the tuna tin kit, and it's a round board because it's designed to be put in the tuna tin case. So we'll take a closer look at it. You can see they're examining their connections with a magnifying glass. And really good fun time was had by all, and every one of the transmitters put out at least a half a watt on 40 meters. So it was very successful and a lot of fun. In the same room, there was about a dozen other people gathered around laptops and so forth, and they were building a kit too, but it was not required to be soldered. What they were doing is they had to bring a Raspberry Pi or a BeagleBone, and they could connect up their DV module, and it becomes an access point for D-Star. I saw them doing D-Star and DMR through this. You can do either one with this module, and so it was fascinating to see them loading the firmware and software and getting the Raspberry Pi booted up and so forth, and talking to the access point. And then their handhelds, you can see, were sitting there on the table, and they were able to work DMR and D-Star through the finished kit that they did. But they did no soldering. What they did was plug it into their Raspberry Pi and then load the OS and configure it. So they had a lot of work to do as well. It took quite a bit of time, but they didn't get all the fun of soldering. But they got their wireless access point. This guy was the first to get his done, and one of the club sponsors surprised him with an authentic J38 key. Now we'll kind of zoom in on that. He handed him a telegraph key, an antique key, for use with this, and he got to take the key home. And a whole lot of fun putting together those kits. And here's kind of a look here. Let's see if we can zoom in a little better. That's probably a little better look. And you can see the perfect sine wave produced by the carrier on this crystal-controlled CW transmitter. This was the 40th anniversary Tuna Tin 2 by Rex W1REX, and it's available at QRPME.com. Once again, QRPME, like the abbreviation for Maine.com. The other featured speaker of the weekend was Tim Duffy, K3LR, who is the owner of DX Engineering, as well as a huge contester and the founder and chief instructor of Contest University. And I've taken his Contest University a couple years ago at the ARL National in Hartford. Great guy. He was sharing all sorts of information about contesting, and He did a second seminar on how the reverse beacon network works. ICOM was represented as well at the Houston Hamfest. Had pretty much their main lineup there. No 7610s yet, but it was promised that the first time people are going to be able to get their hands on one will be in Xenia at the Dayton Hamvention. This is a view inside one of the buildings at the Houston Hamfest. There were two buildings. One had commercial exhibits and some flea market, and the other was mostly flea market and a couple commercial exhibits. Pretty good sized Hamfest, actually. Don't know what the attendance was, but I'm guessing several hundred. This is one of the Hamfest organizers and one of my hosts. This is Ron Hitt, K5HM, K5 Holy Moly. Now, those of you in the chat room here might recognize the lady on the right, or you may not have seen her before. That's Teresa, KE5MUX.
And she's watching tonight. She's in the chat room.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And with her friend there at the Houston Hamfest. One of the highlights of the Hamfest was the launch of a balloon. I had my camera set the wrong way. It was set for indoors and low light, so my first several shots didn't come out good, but this one did. And we got a beautiful shot of the balloon going up, and it was accessible on APRS. The flea market was like most flea markets, but I saw a lot more radios, a lot more good stuff at this flea market. Excellent.
Was it all inside?
No, there was a tailgate area outside as well.
Okay.
And here's another dealer here, Electronic Parts Outlet, which sold some kits as well as parts and so forth, and robotics and maker stuff. I think they had a 3D printer and so forth. And they are a huge electronics parts store in Houston, and I'm sure I'll get to visit it sometime. MT's main trading company, MTC, from Paris, Texas, was there. And let's zoom in over here. You can see their big bell. They have a couple of those. Every time they sell a radio, they're going to ding the bell. And so you always hear the bell ring and people cheer when somebody buys a radio.
Hey, let me tell you, that's a great company. Richard, I think it's Richard Lenore.
Yeah,
is the name. He just contacted me yesterday, and they've donated a Kenwood TM281A as a prize.
Well, that's a great radio. Yeah. Now, here I am, and I'm on a remote. This is a KX3 console that goes through a modem and Wi-Fi, and it looks just like your K3. It's got a mic and everything, and I just grab the mic and talk just like I would if I was at the station itself. And you can spin the VFO and control that radio remotely. And I made about a dozen contacts, mostly in Central and South America, which, of course, when you're in Texas, it's a lot closer. And so I worked a few contacts from Whiskey Golf 5 Hotel, which was a big contest station down there on remote. That's Linda. She was in charge of the prize drum. And no, I didn't win any big prizes. I did win a magnetic mount antenna for 2 meters and 440, but didn't win the K3S or the 7300. So probably better luck next time, but she was the one in charge of the raffle drawing. We'll look at a few other things. If you go to Houston for the Hamfest, you can always enjoy the San Jacinto Monument. And this is an exhibit about Sam Houston. Of course, we're in Houston. And so it tells pretty much the history of Texas there. And it's a very tall building. It's over 570 feet tall. And it's about 480 feet to the observation deck there. And so I got a couple of pictures from there. This is from the observation deck, and we're looking down at the Battleship Texas, which will be one of the museum ships that will be on the air come Museum Ships Weekend in June. This is kind of a close-up, a little closer to the battleship. And there I am on the deck, big guns a-blazing, ready for the next contest. And by the way, I just found out the day before I went down there that I was 7th place in my ARL sweepstakes category. I'm 7th overall in single operator, low power, unlimited. So, Tom, that's the first time I did sweepstakes from home.
Cool.
So, and alone. So I've always been part of a multi. So that was kind of a shock to get that. Here's what we do to airliners that are not on time. And this is where they steer the boat. This is the pilot house.
Ship.
Yep. The Houston Rodeo lasts about 3 weeks, and it's kind of like going to the state fair. And this was the in an area of the exhibits where they had the birthing pavilion, as well as milking exhibits, rabbits, livestock, even a petting area, and tons of exhibits where you buy stuff. The rodeo itself is held in the evening and usually has a big name musician, primarily country, that plays. Miss ZZ Top by a couple of days, though. They're milking the cow there, and you can see she's all hooked up and filling the bottle. And this is a calf that was born maybe 3 minutes before I took this picture. And that's the mother cow licking her clean. And here's a better picture of her only about 6 minutes after she was born, all cleaned up and just laying there, brand new calf. So that was kind of interesting to see, something once again similar to a state fair. But you can buy any kind of souvenirs. You've got even some hook'em horns, so belts and everything. In fact, the belt that I wear came from the Houston Rodeo, and lots of very expensive cowboy boots. We'll zoom in a little bit there. Cowboy boots and cowboy hats. And so quite the thing to get there at the Houston Rodeo. And, of course, probably about the world's biggest cowboy boot sitting outside the building. The rodeo itself is held in NRG Stadium, if that sounds familiar. It's where the Houston Texans play, and it was where the Super Bowl was only a month before. And finally, going down the freeway, have you ever seen a vending machine that sells cars?
No.
There it is. That is a vending machine that sells cars, and you can look it up, Carvana, Carvana, a vending machine that sells cars.
Now, do you get the next one that's in the slot there, or can you pick the one you want?
You can pick the one you want.
Oh,
and so with that, we're going to see if we can close this thing off, and works. Hopefully you've still got my audio.
Yeah, I do. You showed those horns there that you could buy.
Uh-huh.
That reminds me of a Dayton trip about 30 years ago. A guy came in our room with a gun. We were in a very low-class hotel. That's when we used to get a room for $35 and put 10 people in it.
Uh-huh.
It only cost us $10 a night. So anyway, this guy had a key, and he actually came in our room with a gun. I didn't know he had a gun, so I was arguing with him. Everybody else went and sat down. I think they saw the gun. But anyway, back to the story. This guy worked for Phillips Petroleum, and he drove a big Cadillac, and it had horns on the hood, just like the ones you showed there. His name was Fast Eddie. There's a whole lot more to the story. I can tell it someday, but I won't go into it tonight.
Well, Tom, I wanted to thank Ron and Linda and Teresa for being great hosts with the Brazos Valley Amateur Radio Club, and taking me around and to dinner and so forth, and getting to see these wonderful sights in Houston. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to bump on the way home, so no free tickets this time, but we'll try again going to Dayton.
Well, Joe, we really appreciate all your you're reporting on all these Hamfests. You get to go to so many Hamfests. Someday I want you to give me the secret so I can maybe, hit a few more Hamfests myself.
Yep, maybe sometime I'll come down to Memphis.
Yeah, in fact, Memphis Free Fest, and it's coming up in 2 weeks here in Memphis. It's called Memphis Free Fest. It's inside. Tables are free. And it doesn't cost you anything to get in. It's a cool Hamfest here, so that'll be in 2 weeks, Memphis Free Fest.
Well, won't be able to make that one. I'll be, the weekend of the 7th and 8th, I'll be in Branson at OzarkCon, which is a QRP Hamfest. Almost 150 attend that. And then I think the weekend after that is one in Kansas City, and then one in Des Moines after that. And then I have a couple of weeks in between. So, and then, of course, we're going to be looking at Dayton. So we're going to see you for sure in Dayton.
We will see you there, and be sure and come by. And what we'll have to do, we'll have to move a couple people out of our booth so you can move in. We're going to be very tight this year, but we want you to come by and say hi and be on the show. And in fact, hey, we need a roving reporter for an hour or two. Did you see the device that we built up for?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I saw
so,
the GoPro, but is there a viewfinder? I didn't see the viewfinder.
Well,
so.
there is a LCD viewer on the back of the camera.
Okay, so there is one. Okay,
there is one. Yeah, there is one to help out a little bit. And of course, we've got a wireless link to a Ohio mic that maybe a person can do an interview and can actually get us some footage and bring it back to the booth. And I think it'll be good, probably better than what we've done in some of the past times here. Well, the storm hadn't hit here yet. Look at this. Right here, I want to show you guys what we're facing here. Let's see. There we go. Let me adjust that a little bit. Show you guys what's coming here to Memphis. It looks like it's just gone through Texas down there, but where Teresa is down there. But hey, we're let me turn my mic on. Hey, we're well. I don't know what, for some reason I'm not in the picture anymore. I don't know what happened. But anyway, you can see where Memphis is, the little dot right there. And I think by the morning I'm going to be hearing lightning here, lightning and thunder.
And we're going to get lots of rain here. They're saying about 1.5 inches here tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday morning.
Yeah. All right. Well, Joe, hey, thank you very much. We're actually coming to the part of the show, Hangout. And we're just about on time tonight, man. We really appreciate it. Hey, let me say something. I talked to, you guys know that Charlie Emerson, he was the chairman of the Huntsville Hamfest, passed away about a month ago. And today I was talking to Dave Givens. He's basically running it now and trying to figure out what all Charlie did. Charlie did a lot of things behind the scenes himself, so they're trying to get a grasp on what it takes to really do all the things that Charlie was doing. So anyway, we've talked to him. We're going to be back there in Huntsville again in August. It's a great Hamfest there at the Von Braun Civic Center. Air conditioning inside, beautiful. And also, I think that weekend is the what do you call it? The eclipse. Joe, because of that, you're not coming. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to be staying here. Actually, you can see it if you go to Huntsville. You can drive about 2 hours straight north, and you'll be in totality. But I think I'm going to stay here, and that way I can rove around if the weather is bad, and I'll know where I'm going.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I think up toward Nashville, up north there, it's going to be a total eclipse. Huntsville is, a couple hours south of Nashville, so it won't be total, but I'm guessing it'll be a fairly large percentage of eclipse.
But yeah, on Monday, you should drive north. Definitely don't miss it.
Yeah. So we'll check that out, and we'll probably just go outside and see what we see, and you're going to take pictures, so we'll look at your pictures.
You bet.
All right. Well, Joe, thank you so much for giving us a report on Houston Hamfest, and again, we'll see you here in a few weeks up in Dayton. I did see Michael Coulter, W8CI, checked in earlier, but then I saw him sign out, so I was going to say hello to Michael. They're great supporters of our webcast and really bend over backwards to help us up there to get things working for the webcast. 73, Joe. See you later, man.
73s.
Appreciate it. Okay. Oh, and Bill reminds me, the MFJ anniversary coming up. I think it's October. We went to one 5 years ago. Martin Jew, the owner, had us come down. We webcasted the MFJ. I think it was the 45th anniversary. This must be the 50th, or maybe this is the 45th. I don't know, but it's up there somewhere. So we'll be doing that in October from MFJ headquarters down in Mississippi. I want to say thanks again to everybody out there that tuned in tonight. We had a good number of viewers tonight, and we thank anybody on shortwave that might have listened in on the show tonight. If you did join in on shortwave tonight, please send us. I may have two mics on here. Please send us a signal report where you're located and a signal report. We'd love to hear from you. You can send that signal report to Tom at W5KUB.com. Tom at W5KUB.com. We'd love to hear from you. So let's see if somebody can post the Hangout link in the chat room. If somebody will post a Hangout link in the chat room, and I will see if I can bring Hangout. Now, Hangout is the unofficial end of the show where we bring people in. If you've got a camera and you want to join us, we can have up to 10 people at one time join us on the webcast here. And we talk about everything. It's like sitting around a coffee table and just talking about anything you want to talk. So come on in and join us. Let me get Hangout up, and we'll see who's in there. And I see Glenn Popel, KW5GP. Glenn's the author of the Arduino for Ham Radio books, Mesh Networks. Glenn's in the chat room, and he wrote the ARL books. All right, let me see. Let me join here. We got a couple people already in there, I believe. Let's see who we got. I know we got Jeff in there somewhere.
Evening. How are you?
Hey, Jeff. Doing good. Got a good picture of you there. Let's see. Let me try this one. Yeah, we'll take that shot right there. That way I can have my picture. Here's Jim. Jim out in California. Let's see who else is in there. We got Steve. Do I know Steve? Who is Steve?
Who's Teresa?
Is Teresa in there? Teresa's in there.
Look at that.
Teresa is there. We've got a new person, Steve, there. If Steve will turn his mic on there. Yep. He must be working on his mic. But
always likes when a YL. I always like when a YL shows up.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Need more young ladies in the hobby.
Well, I usually sit in the chat room and watch this part. I don't always log in and throw in my 2 cents worth.
Well, where's your video feed?
My camera is out for the count right now.
She's got that.
I
can't find the driver for it.
Cut your break this week.
Oh well. All right. So hey, well, let's see. We got Bill in there. Bill joined us. Man, since Doc changed jobs, I hadn't seen Doc in the Hangout here in a while. I saw him in the chat room tonight.
Would be nice to see how he's making out with his new job.
Yeah.
But we'll see him at Dayton. I'm sure he'll be there.
Yeah. All right. So I guess you'll be there. Yeah. Are you gonna? What day are you coming in, Jeff?
We'll be there Thursday morning early.
Okay. We'll be there setting up.
I'll be there on the 17th.
Cool. 17th.
I'll watch you drive
I'll
up.
send you an email, Tom.
7th. Yeah. All right. 17th. What's that? That's Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay until Tuesday, and I leave here. I think 3:40 in the morning on a bus. Get on a plane at 6. Fly to DC. Have an hour layover. Fly from DC to Dayton. So I'll be there by noontime.
Well, we're going to be there 5 days. We'll be there. Let's see. We drive down Wednesday. We'll be there Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to drive back Monday. It's just too far of a drive to come back on Sunday evening after you work hard all day. It's a tough trip to make.
Well, I understand.
Yeah, my buddy Jim and I will be out there Thursday morning. Well, we'll probably get out there around 10.
Well,
10 o'clock.
well, good. Because you know what? I'm going to give you this.
And then we're
This is only a test of the emergency system.
I'm going to give you this thing, Jeff, and you're going to walk around and you're going to get us some video. But
well, hey, that's easy, Tom. You know what to do. You know what I need to do that.
well, yeah, but you know what I need? You need to leave your driver's license with me when you take my GoPro.
See, I don't have a driver's license, so I can just get away with taking it.
I might,
Your library
Marty,
card.
I might even trust you to carry it around, Marty, because I know you. I know where to come get you.
You know where I live,
I know where you live, you know. So
and you can bribe me with good barbecue too.
yeah.
Hey, Tom, I think that you came up with an excellent idea for your video casts from Dayton. That's an amazing idea.
What?
That's good. Because you can hand that off to some good people that'll take you to, maybe some things, I'm interested in some things that others aren't. Marty's going to come out with some great ideas. That's great.
The nice thing about this, it's really light. It's got the. Let me see if I can go full screen here. Let's see. It's light. It's got the little GoPro on it. I mean, hey, if it's dark here, we got a light on here. We can take the hi-fi mic wireless back to the unit here, and this is so light that you can even put it on a little folded-up tripod and carry the tripod around, and you can spread the legs on the tripod, set it down on the floor right there, and get a pretty stable picture. The GoPro makes good pictures. I just never have used it for this. We put an extra big battery pack on here to try to give it several more hours of use. And now,
is that battery pack able to be removed and quickly exchanged in case someone else wants to take it right out?
Well, the GoPro has its own internal battery, but it may only be good for a couple hours. But this is a USB battery pack here.
Right.
That like for your phones, and it will run the GoPro probably for hours and hours and hours. So, I built this.
Have you taken a look at the quality coming out of those out of the GoPro? Because sometimes those things are notorious for not looking terrific.
Really? Well, and that's what I'm wondering. I'm going to try this out. You can set it for wide angle or normal. Wide,
set it to normal, it'll look better.
Yeah, I think it will, because the wide gives you that curve on both sides. The
fisheye.
And the fisheye, and I don't think it
works. Yeah, hey Steve, we hear you.
Set it on normal.
We hear you just fine, Steve.
Yeah.
Maybe Steve's going on there.
So
hello, radio.
Steve.
Gentleman with the big fish tank behind you. We hear you.
Steve got a fish tank there? Yeah.
That's a beautiful reef tank. Wow.
Hi, Doc.
Hey, look at there. Now, Doc made it. Doc made it. He must have heard us.
Good evening.
He must have heard us talking about him. Doc, how's the new job going?
It's going good. Taking care of those veterans.
Well, I'm glad to see you there at the VA. If I ever get sick, I'm going to come see you.
Thank you, Doc.
I think that maybe the health care has just improved.
All right, guys. I'm going to jump out of here in a minute.
All right, Marty.
Time for homework. Bye, Marty.
Homework's done. I'm gonna give you guys a chance to be without adult supervision. You know, if you guys mess up, I'll come in. I have a big old paddle over here, and we'll give it some hard discipline. So.
Oh,
All
Lord.
right, Marty. Well, Marty, I'm expecting you. Marty, I'm expecting at Dayton. I'm expecting you to donate at least 1 hour or so to the webcast.
Somebody has an open microphone.
Yeah, who's that?
Yeah, so we tell who this is.
Steve, we hear you.
Can I mute him?
Sure.
Why you want to do that?
Tom can probably mute him out.
Well, let me see. You know,
Steve?
I don't have that option anymore. You know, used to you could click on a person. I don't have that function anymore. So, hey,
You don't- you
Steve,
can't do
Steve,
that, huh?
Steve. Hey, Steve, how you doing, man? I don't know if you're listening to the audio through the show or not. If you're listening to the audio through the show, you need to mute that audio and use the audio on Hangout. But Steve, can you hear us?
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you. Hello?
I hear you fine.
Steve,
I think everybody heard me.
Wow, reverb.
I hear you.
Did you turn on the CB Echo box or something?
Sound like you're in a. Sound like there's an echo.
Hey, I'm doing pretty
Echo.
good.
Yes, Echo. This. Hello. What is this? Channel 19? You got your Vector Victor?
I
Is that
hear
a Roger?
I hear
All right, Marty, let's give everyone a break.
See, we have to hate
Can't be blocked.
a little bit of bullying, a little bit of public harassment. It's good for the soul.
No, it's all good. But
Go
yeah,
to
I
bed,
think
Marty.
Steve's
Go to
got a
bed,
little issue
Marty.
with his audio.
Go to bed, Marty. It's this is for what time is it? It's 9:39. It's for adults only now.
It's 10:30 in Massachusetts,
Yeah.
so
It's
I guess
10:30
he's beyond his
10:30 here.
bedtime.
Past my bedtime too.
Past all your bedtimes, clearly.
Don's making me want to break out a cigar to go with my wine. So.
Looney Tunes is on, guys. Go watch that.
Hey, Don, we all want to hear about your new job. How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. I'm trying to learn this software. You know, anytime you learn a new computer program, there's this pretty steep learning curve, but the medicine's the easy part.
Well, you already know that, right?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I'd be real scared if you didn't.
Yep.
Well, Doc, I want you to give everybody.
Anytime you deal with a new electronic medical record, they're all a little bit different, and you have to just find your way around.
Well, Doc, have you given anybody a set of salicylic acid yet?
Every day.
$80 aspirins. Here we go.
Man.
All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. And
Okay, we'll see you.
Exercise, not
We'll
your
see
age, and I'll be around.
Good night, Marty.
Good night,
We're not hearing you, Mark.
We'll see you in Xenia, Marty.
Yeah, see you in Xenia.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I can't find anybody to go with me.
You need a friend?
Well. Well, Doc,
I need to find somebody who can share the driving and share.
Is this thing working?
Yeah, we hear you now. We hear you, Steve.
I don't think you hear us.
Steve. Let me talk to Steve. Yeah, he's talking back to me.
Tom, you and I have had that discussion.
Yeah.
But at least this time you stayed clean.
Oh, that's funny.
Let me communicate with Steve here.
I hear about 12 people.
I pick on Tom because, I told him a year or so ago at Huntsville Hamfest, my major in college was interpreting for the deaf and hard of hearing, so I actually know sign language.
Well, did I
Maybe
say
you should
did I say
teach
anything
Tom a
bad?
thing or two.
Did I say anything bad?
No, you're okay.
Well, what about this?
I watched what he
okay,
did.
all right,
He
Teresa.
said, I am a crazy drunken ham.
All right,
He
Teresa.
lives in Tennessee.
Teresa.
Who mocks people around the world. That's what he said.
Teresa, I know you can read it, so tell me what this is, Teresa, right here.
I hear everybody.
Wait, well, we hear you too, so talk.
We hear you, Steve. We hear you.
Tom, I think you need a glove on that before you go fetch that cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom,
Hear you.
Tom,
Yes.
you're number one.
The what?
Oh,
Oh, Marty.
oh, man.
Marty, good. Oh,
Turn that
he's
down
gonna
a
get.
notch.
He's gonna get spanked when he gets to.
Something happened. Something happened. I didn't see it. What was it?
He told you we were number one, and it was not
I'm
polite.
the friendly number one.
Well, that's okay.
Love you too.
All right.
Steve. Yeah, Steve's not hearing us. We
Look.
don't see the volume going up and down on this.
Yeah. Steve, Steve says he can hear everybody, but listen, Steve, you may be listening to us on the webcast, which is 30 seconds delayed. If you're listening there, that's the wrong place. You need to mute that audio on the webcast.
Hello, how's it going, man? What's everybody up to from Davenport, Iowa? Woo-hoo!
All right, I heard that.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
We got
Redneck
Steve. We
DJ.
got Steve the DJ there. All right. Well, hey, Jeff, send me
Quad
an email.
Cities.
Send me an email. We'll get together.
Okay. Not a problem. Yeah, you used to be able to individually mute people out. We can't do that anymore.
They keep changing the software version, and now you don't have. That was a good option to have.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, if
Turn
someone-
on the webcam. Okay, there's that. I'll turn on
We'll
this.
figure it out. You just have something set. You have something set,
Okay,
Robert.
is that better?
Yeah, you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I hear you real fine. I've been hearing everybody.
All right. Well, now we can talk.
Cool beans.
Cool beans. All right, Tom, say hello.
Hey,
Hey, Tom, how's it going? I was here about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was sitting and talking with you,
Yeah.
man. I'm out here in Davenport, Iowa.
Yeah, I remember.
The call sign here is KD0JNQ.
Yeah, we remember you.
I love your reef tank, man. That's really hot.
Oh, hey. Oh, I wish I had a longer cord. Let's see here.
Turn that
Maybe I
around.
can get it closer.
Let's see that reef. Boy, that's very impressive.
That's
Very impressive.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Oh, it's awesome. This is my baby. I sit and watch it and pull hair algae and everything out of it all day.
Wow.
Oh man, very sweet.
It's 125 gallons. I got 40-gallon fresh water over here, but the light ain't on it. Well, yeah, you can see them all around.
You can see him, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that one. And then I got for those people out west, I got my little cactus garden over here. So yeah, and then I got, well, this is all the audio gear I use. I showed Tom last time.
Yeah.
I use that on my 756 Pro, which is right there. I hope I'm not making you too dizzy. I'm kind of quick with things.
No,
That equipment
stay
you're
close to the mic.
Yeah, that equipment you're showing is probably why it wasn't working a while ago. You got too many knobs there.
I got 2 computers I run, and I do some PAL talk and some other stuff too. And then I got my 991 over here. Whoops, microphone's this way. And I got that's all my radio stuff here at home. So yeah, I just wanted to come in and say hi.
Well, I'm glad you figured it all out.
Yeah. Just mark those switches and knobs where you got them set, and you'll be working there next week.
Well, I'm gonna have to remember not to have 2 rooms on. What was the other one? Was just like YouTube that I had on?
Yeah, and that's the problem. You were watching the video. You were listening to us on our webcast, which is 30-second delay. You needed to have your listen on the audio on Hangout.
Oh, cool. They all tell me I got a little delay upstairs anyway.
I'll take you, Tom.
Yeah.
Tom, how many weeks did it take me to get this thing to finally work?
Well, usually every week it doesn't work, right? So
I might have the world record on this on the KUB. How long it took to get this stuff to work correctly?
Yeah, and you're still ahead of Steve there, so you still hold the record right now.
Okay, I hold that proudly.
But see, I want to kind of do like what you're doing. I run a net on 146.700 here in Davenport on Sunday nights, and I kind of use a little bit of this so the kids and them people can all get, to see what's going on here in the shack. So I really like what you guys do here. It's really cool.
Well, thanks. Well, some people just tune in for the hangout part. I hope they watch the show beforehand. I mean, the hangout's kind of the unofficial end of the show. Hey, Doc, we've got Kurt on here. He wants to know, man. I mean, he wants to know if you. Well, I don't know if I should ask or not. I won't ask. We'll keep it
I don't
off.
think Doc does that kind of work.
We'll keep it off that subject. I don't think Doc does that type work.
I don't have my chat room up, so I can't see what he said.
They want to know if you're doing colonoscopies at the VA.
Negative.
Yeah, you gotta be a special something to do that, right?
Yep.
You gotta have some kind of camera license or something.
Well, that means you're a real doc, huh?
Have to be into spelunking.
Spelunking. Oh man.
Your dive cert.
Does that mean you're a real doc?
Yeah, he's a doc. That's Doc. That's Papa Doc right there.
Oh, cool. Okay, I thought it was kind of like, what's up, doc?
No, that's Papa Doc. He's a real doc here. We, about once a month we get in here and we we tell him all our ailments and stuff, and he tells us what to do.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I got to get a hold of the gentleman to get me my hat. That's what I'm kind of looking forward to.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You were gonna get with Ron K9ID, I think, for a hat.
Oh, K9ID, yeah, Ron. Hey, Doc, how's like I asked you earlier? How's the job at the VA? You said it's just a learning curve with the software, but how are the patients different?
Well, it's a different clientele. Most of my patients that in my private practice were, I don't know, all insured, and a lot of them are, retirees and things like that. But I'm seeing people, from, from Vietnam era and some Gulf War veterans and Operation Iraqi Freedom, and some of them have some real issues.
Any of the Agent Orange stuff still around?
Yep.
I mean, affecting them?
Yep.
You got guys like Steve coming to see you?
They're over the mental health side.
Oh, Lord.
Steve, are you a vet?
Hey, Doc, that brings up a point, man. You're at the VA now. My doctor one time, my bilirubin used to be way out of tolerance. It's been back normal, but he said a lot of veterans had that problem, and they were doing some kind of study. You ever heard of anything like that?
Not yet. No.
What would cause your bilirubin to be out of adjustment? I mean, it's a liver issue.
I have no idea.
Well, it could be a liver issue, but some people have a congenital hyperbilirubinemia.
I've heard that. Okay.
Yeah, that bilirubin hyponemia. That's probably what it is.
I'm not a veteran. My stepson is serving as an improvised explosive specialist in the United States Navy.
Get close to the mic, Steve.
Okay, my stepson, he's a improvised explosive specialist right now. He's back in the States hanging out at the United Nations, but otherwise, no, I don't have nothing to do with the military.
Well, thanking
you all for serving, man. I really appreciate you protecting
that's
my
some job
freedom.
he's got. That's a tough job.
Yeah, we all appreciate anyone that served.
Absolutely.
Well, it's past my bedtime.
I'm a person of many hats, so I'll just switch this hat. How's that? I had my K9ID hat on here for Steve. Now I'll put my.
Does this microphone work?
Yeah, it's working.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to jump out of here too, Tom. I've got to get in bed. I'm having to leave an hour earlier than I used to get to the office, so I've got to drive to Chattanooga every day, 30 minutes. So I'm going to jump out too.
Yeah, I got it.
Doc.
See you later, Doc. Have a good night.
Night, Doc.
Good night, guys.
All right.
All right, good night, guys. Tom, I'll send you an email.
Okay. All right, that's good.
73.
And Steve, nice to talk to you this week. Join us every week you can.
Hey, I will, man. That's not a problem. I'm just going to sit here and listen. I'll turn the
Love that
microphone
reef.
down.
Yeah, that's a sharp
Thank
one.
you. Yeah, it's 125 gallons, and if I had right now, I got kind of a mess because I've been trying to clean up behind the desk in the shack, get all the wires kind of taken care of. But I got a really nice filter in the bottom too that's got a lot of neat lights. So, gosh, I don't know if you can see it from there.
That's an expensive setup.
No, you can't see it from there. Yeah, well, at one time I bought a 30-gallon tank for $30, and I got all the coral that was in here out of that, and I just bought some rock, and this tank here, a guy sold me, it's 125 gallons with the stand, he sold me for $100. I thought, man, I'm going to go to town with it, and it's been up for 2 years now, so.
You know, you got some really good stuff growing in there. That's very impressive.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Everybody who comes over and sits in the shack loves to watch it.
Absolutely. All right, well, have a good evening, everyone.
Right back to you, man. Top of the evening,
Yeah,
7 and 3.
you know what?
7-3.
I probably for the last 20 minutes I had the camera locked in on Steve here. I didn't know it, so we were showing Steve when everybody else was talking. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. All right, good night, Tom, and good night, everyone else. See you, Bill.
Good night, Tim.
Night, Steve.
Teresa.
Hey, John boy.
Everyone else.
Hey, wait, who? We got another one. Let's see, who is Emil?
Yeah, Emil down here in southeast Louisiana.
Okay, hey, Emil. Now, have you been on here with us before?
No, I've never watched the show. I met you guys in Huntsville. I went up there and saw you roving around, but never actually watched it till tonight.
So you saw the show. It's not just the hangout part, right?
Right, correct.
This is the goofy part. This is not the show.
No, I got it. I've been watching you guys for a while.
Oh, okay.
In fact,
good.
I participate with Amateur Logic TV.
Okay,
I'm the
cool.
cheap old man down there with George and Tommy.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, well, you know, we met a lot of people, you know, doing this, but there's still so many people that still don't know about it, you know. I mean, we highly advertise it. We've got an ad in CQ magazine, a 1/6-page ad in CQ magazine every month about the show. Hopefully that's bringing a few people in, but there's still a lot of people that, you know, just don't know about it. There's people that don't know about Ham Nation. You know, it's hard to believe.
Yep.
Because most of the late night guys are on 80 meters yakking about their medicines.
Yeah. Well,
Or not. Or sale on bullets in Walmart, which not a bad thing.
Oh, don't go there. There are people that sit up all night long, okay, and they sit there on the Walmart website, okay, and they figure roughly about 20 minutes past 5 in the morning that they'll check to see if there's any 9mm, 22, 380s, 45s, and whatever. And then at 7 o'clock in the morning, there's like 50 people at the sporting goods counter. Oh, I want this. I want that. I want this.
You know, I hate that. A lot of people get there before I do. I have to get behind them.
But it's like when iPhones go on sale. You know, there's a lineup out around the corner. Yeah, well.
Well, the sporting goods counter opens at 7. The cell phones don't. I think she's not there until either 8 or 8:30, and she's only there till 5. So I mean, you know, if you don't get it, that's that.
I'm talking about the Apple Store when Apple makes its usual fall announcement. You know, the new iPhone 7 Plus XX Super Large. Just hang out at the Apple Store in their tents and the night before, waiting to get in line.
Oh no, I'm not like that.
No, I'll stick with my Android, thank you.
Bill, if you don't want to get up that early, I'll share some of my ammunition with you.
Well, I don't have a license to carry a sidearm.
A license?
I just sell the stuff.
You gotta have a license?
Oh, hell yeah, if you don't have a license, you don't buy.
Wow. You need to move down here with us.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, didn't mean to stir all that. But
I
sounded like we had a crowd get some of it.
I imagine old Mill down here in Louisiana, he's probably got a Thompson. What is that? What do you call it?
No Thompsons, but yeah, there's quite the arsenal over here.
Yeah.
Where did you say you were, Tom? Up in Memphis?
I'm in Collierville, Tennessee. It's just right outside of Memphis. Memphis is Germantown. Yeah.
I've got family up in Bartlett. It's northeast.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We got a daughter that lives up there.
Yep.
And hey, Kurt in the chat room, WA2JSG, he's got a daughter that lives up in Bartlett, and Kurt's from New Jersey. He's in the chat room right now.
Nice.
Well, man, I'm thinking about peanut butter sandwich, maybe the Coke.
Uh-oh.
Maybe putting it on MeTV, watch some of those 1960 shows, like Andy Griffith, Dennis the Menace, Beaver,
Good stuff.
That's some good stuff, man.
Batman, Mannix. Oh.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I've seen them all though. They need to make more Beavers and more Dennis the Menaces and those, because I've seen them all now, man. KB3 ILN, he needs some more 223 ammo.
Oh yeah, we get that.
All right.
Oh Lord.
Hey, Mike's on.
Yeah. I just stuck in here.
Look at there, Mike's in here, man. Where you been?
We've had. I caught the first part of the show, but on the phone with my two sisters. I had one of my sisters in Wisconsin passed away last night, so I'm kind of on the phone call with my other two sisters here. So this most of your show.
Sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
Family first, man. That's too bad.
Yeah, she's been in a rehab nursing home for 13 years. She's had a lot of medical problems, so it wasn't unexpected. But
yeah,
you got to make the phone calls and keep up with the family here. So that guy took priority over you.
Okay. Well, I was going to give you a demerit, but I will not. Now that's a good excuse. Kurt says too late to eat peanut butter. Man, it's not ever too late to eat peanut butter. Peter Pan smooth peanut butter on fresh Wonder Bread. Oh man. Mm.
Oh yeah.
Gotta be crunchy peanut butter.
Wash that down with about a 2-liter Coke.
Ooh.
Man.
All right, so
I haven't had Coke in almost 2 years.
Yeah.
all right, 73s, guys. I hope to catch you guys in the next show.
Hey, give my regards to Tommy and George, okay?
Will do.
Any of you guys any of you guys watched the Today Show this morning on NBC?
No, which part of it?
Oh, they had this Al Roker here in.
Yeah.
They had this.
The Guinness record of freeze tag.
Yep, that was done here in Marquette. He was here in Marquette this morning.
Okay.
That was in our football dome here at the Superior Dome here this morning. So, yeah. I was not there. I stayed at home and watched it on TV like everybody else.
Well, that was smart.
Yeah, they broke some freeze game or freeze whatever they call it.
Yeah, freeze tag.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what that is, but anyways, the college students all knew what it was.
I don't know what this is right here.
Keep going up. Up.
It's coming this way, it looks like.
We need the lapel mic in when he does that.
I know. He walks away.
All right. The mic's on. You can hear me now, right?
Now I can hear him.
All right. We've got this high and low pressure mixed here, and it's moving around, and that's about all I know.
Well, I just got off my phone with my sister by Dallas, so yeah, look at weather she's getting there.
So let's see. Let me see.
But you want my weather? You got
figure
to
this
go
out.
west.
See if I can figure this out. Let's see. Man, I can't figure this out. Let's see. We got to go from here to here. It's about that far away from me.
Yeah, but Tom, you look down at Houston and at that southern edge. That's all what's heading toward me right now.
That's going to be. Let me tell you. Let me get. Okay, you're in Houston. Let me get you some weather here. Oh, let me do this for Teresa here. We're gonna do the.
You got the UP behind your head. There you go.
We're gonna do the weather here for Teresa. Let's see. There's Dallas. Oh man.
Got to go about 4 hours south.
Here we go. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. That ought to get it right there.
Oh Lord. That
poor woman. Guys. Teresa, you're down here, right? You're down here, right, Teresa?
Right.
You're down here, and look at what's coming your way.
Oh yeah.
That's a baby storm. That's a baby storm.
Yeah, but you see this part right here with that red? That's packing 832 mile-an-hour winds, according to W5KUB forecast.
Oh, them sirens are going to be going all.
And this, see that little hook right? Let me show you something. See that little hook right there? Right there. That wind is blowing clockwise and counterclockwise at the same time.
Well, see, with your map there up where I am in the UP, it's nice and clear on your map right there. So you can. Yeah, you have to lower that map down.
All right, let me see if I can lower it for you. You're up in the UP.
Yeah.
I don't even know how far the UP is up there, but it's way on up there, isn't it?
You got to keep going and keep going and keep.
It's upper.
I see Minneapolis.
It's at the top. It's the upper peninsula.
Okay, I'll slide it over.
Which way? This way? There we go. Up.
Oh, see, there's Marquette right there.
Oh,
right
okay, there you are. There you are, Marquette. Oh, yeah, you don't even have any weather up there.
Yeah, that's right where I'm at.
Oh, let me see. Let's see how far out it is from you in Marquette. Look at there. You have absolutely zero weather.
Right.
Oh, I see something creeping in from the bottom left down there. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Let you get a cold wind off Superior, and then it can be awful ugly up there.
Yeah, right. There's a whole bunch of float ice in the harbor right now that just kind of floats in with when the wind shifts, it'll float back out, but it'll keep it cool. I got 30 degrees. It's warm enough.
I think you'll be okay tonight.
Find the Edmund Fitzgerald yet?
Yep.
Steve held up the sign saying good night. So good night, Steve.
Good night, Teresa.
No, Steve's heading.
Oh, Steve's leaving. Yeah. Good night, Steve.
Yeah, good night. I just didn't want to bother your conversation. 7 and 3, man. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
All right, 73, man.
Oh, what you just said.
Yeah.
It was all nice.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. German listener. We got German listener in there. He liked my weather. He said I was the best weatherman ever. I guess, you know, I'm showing those German weathermen up over there.
Yeah, it looks like you did a better job than Al Roper did here in Marquette today. So.
You know, I got to correct something. I said Kurt's daughter lives in Bartlett. She used to live in Bartlett, but now she lives just a mile or two from me down here in Carterville. So, you know, Kurt came by one time to see his daughter. He knocked on my door, opened the door, and he ran, got in his car, and left. I told him you better stay next time he comes.
He didn't leave any flaming smelly stuff.
No, there wasn't there was this bag on fire on the front porch.
Oh. There we go. So, Mike, you're in Michigan, and I see a Packer flag behind you.
We are divided up here in the UP. You know, you don't sound you're either a Packer fan or a Lions fan. And yeah, I'm a Packer fan. No, I'm a Detroit Tigers and Red Wings fan. But when it comes to football, it's the Packers. You gotta pick your side up here.
Yeah, I've never been much for sports, but the Badgers and the Packers, man, I got to go for them because they're home state. You just got to stick with family.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I was in Green Bay a week ago Saturday. I was there. Matter of fact, I drove right by Packer Stadium and Lambeau Field there. Our motel was just down the road from it there. No game going on. You can't get tickets, and you just walk in and get tickets to that game.
No.
Probably not to any of them anymore. Not
Nope.
Not the way it's going. Hey, we're losing the team up here in the north, Northern California. I guess the Raiders are going to Vegas.
Yep, that's what I see in the news.
Ford Stadium up there is going to crumbling anyway in Oakland. So, well, a little less microaggression in the Bay Area. Yeah.
They're just moving around. I mean, I remember when Baltimore had the Colts, and they went out of town under the cover of dark and went to Indianapolis.
Well, the stuff costs some of the taxpayers, and the amount of money that got thrown into Levi's Stadium, government money and whatever else, and the surrounding collateral costs. But Candlestick had to get demolished too. It was falling apart. So you go where the money is, and San Francisco couldn't get enough bond money. Matter of fact, that stadium wasn't even in the city of San Francisco. So
it's in Oakland, right?
No. Well, Candlestick
Wow.
was kind of borderline, but the Oakland Stadium where it's also where the A's play. And a number of games up there, man. You don't know whether you're going to get mugged or stabbed going from the train to the game. It's kind of
Hey guys, look.
Yeah, that's scary. I used to go over to Oakland on the weekends there when I was TDY at Treasure Island in the middle of the bay there, and I used to go over to what was it, EGE, or I think is the predecessor to HRO. EGE was out there, and
oh yeah.
I freaked. I mean, I got off the bus and the guy says, "Oh, it's down there," and I looked and I said, "Oh no."
Hey, I'm just looking at the chat box here. You got the German listener. He says, "You guys seem like a bunch of nice folks."
Hey guys, look at this. Look at this.
It's 5 a.m. here, and I stumbled across this.
one of our friends, K0NEB, Bob, told us we are on the front page of QRZ. So I went there to QRZ, and there we are, man. We're on the front page of QRZ.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
Yeah.
We got more
they
stuff. That's free advertising, Tom.
They could have given us the whole page, not just a little bitty spot like that.
Click on it, it takes you somewhere.
So the guy in Germany said he just stumbled on us.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Yeah.
I hate it when people miss the show when they tune in to Hangout here and they think this is it. I mean, this is getting pretty low, man.
Yep.
Well, you just got to tell him it's 0100 Zulu.
He couldn't have gotten into the IRC chat without going through KUB first. You can't get there. You can't get into the chat from a link on Facebook or anything.
Well, I mean, you don't have to go to the page if you got an IRC client or something. If you know what IRC chat room we're in, you could go there. But he probably did, get to us through our page. But I'm guessing if he just ran across us, he missed the show.
Well, he's going to have to tell us how he found us.
So that's the German. He's in Bavaria, Germany. There's Kurt. Looks like Kurt's trying to speak German with him in the chat room.
Yeah, Guten Morgen and Anzi Gates and C.
Volkswagen. Is that right? Volkswagen?
Yeah, they're called Golf over there. They're not Volkswagen.
Oh, Volkswagen. Volkswagen.
Mercedes. I remember we went over to Frankfurt there.
Yeah, we are all ham radio operators. Yeah, he just said the QRZ said we're amateur radio operators. Well, radio operator people. I don't know. Yeah, that's what we are.
My call is WZ1L.
You know, I'm 8 kilowatt for 8 India Lima.
85 MUX.
Volkswagen, you get see, told you. Yeah, Volkswagen.
Now, don't judge all ham radio operators by us.
Oh, please don't.
Just most of them. Hey Tom, I was thinking when you had the GoPro thingy, one of those bright yellow Aries helmets.
Oh God!
And then build that whole thing on there, and then you'd fit right in.
Well, you know, back in the day when Tom wasn't inside, he was outside in the flea market, and he sat in the booth right next door to the International Order of Crazies out there in the 3300 series of the flea market. And that's how I met Tom many, many moons ago. You remember them days, Tom?
Yeah, that was back in the early days of the helmet cam, and you're talking about Jim, a camera. Let me show you what we. Let me see if I can. Let me get another picture in here if I can figure out how to get there. Here we go. Okay, this is the Hamvention site. Every year, Hamvention.
Oh yeah.
So there's the Hamvention site, but every year they put us on their main page, on the front page, and that's us at the bottom, right there with the helmet cam.
Yep.
I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see the helmet cam here at the very bottom, but
yeah, you can put a GoPro on there.
Yeah, that was terrible. Well, back then, quality very poor, and we never knew what way we were aimed at. And with the internet being so slow, every time we turn our head, everybody was getting so sick they were taking Dramamine tablets and.
Well, that's what caught me first. Was I was on the Dayton Hamvention page, and I hadn't been down there. Well, I was there 3 years. It's been probably 15 years since I've been there, but I was on their page and I saw that helmet cam live thing, and actually that's what caught my attention. And you were, like Bill said, outside in the flea market under a tent that you set up. So I've been watching you kind of since then.
Yep.
All right, so German listener says, sounds cool, very cool. I'll listen to shortwave defined radio stations through some web pages. So cool to listen, but a lot of people across the world. Yeah.
You tell them about WBCQ?
Well,
you know,
just listen to a lot of people. I don't know that he listened. I don't know if he found us on WBCQ or not. WBCQ could be heard up in England, in the UK. I'm not sure if you'd hear it over in Germany.
Germany's not that much farther away.
Well, it's the what do you call it? It's the footprint of the antenna, the way it's oriented. You know.
Yeah, it depends on the pattern, but Germany's, you know,
yeah,
the distance is 40 miles across the channel.
Well, yeah. Probably, maybe so. Let's see.
Maybe 50 or so, but Bremerhaven's up there toward the North Sea.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, it's 11:15 here. I got some more things I got to take care of here. So.
Hey, Mike, have a good night.
Yep, I know.
Condolences.
Probably next week. We'll see what goes on. I'll just have to watch the video tomorrow or so and catch up on what the show was. I did catch the first part with Marty in there, but after that I had to get on the phone calls.
Cool.
So, 7-3, guys. Good night.
7-3.
Good night, Mike.
Condolences.
Thanks.
So.
Let's see. I want to see you wearing that again. Oh, okay. The helmet cam was no good. Yeah, it just no good at all.
Hey, Tom, are you bringing that little handheld thing with you to
Yeah, I'll bring this. And what I've done on this is I can take the GoPro off here, and I can put my Samsung Galaxy 7 on here, and I've got a device built here where this will plug in the Samsung phone,
Yeah.
And
Wow.
the wireless mic will then go into my Galaxy Samsung phone. So that gets the audio into the phone. And same thing on the GoPro here. Is I've got the wireless mic now plugged into the GoPro, and and we've got an extra capacity battery on here. It'll probably run for a few hours at least.
Okay, what kind of a mini card you got in there? You got a 32 megahertz?
Well, I put a 32 gig in here.
Yeah.
I think a 32 gig will last probably a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours.
And if you download it, you be able to just refresh it and keep.
Yeah,
going.
I mean, I can bring this back to my computer and plug my USB cable in here to the GoPro, and just instantly copy that file into the computer, and then we can play it right here on the webcast, just like you're walking around, So.
Yeah, you could play all that. You could have a backpack with a laptop on Wi-Fi, and be plucking the video and the audio right off the GoPro into your laptop, and you have infinite storage.
Well, yeah, that's a lot to carry. I'm trying to make it really portable,
a laptop weighs 5 pounds or whatever. But I thought it was
my
cool.
my laptops weigh a little bit more.
I'm still trying to work out first-person video with having the GoPro on my my quadcopter, but the best I can do is look at it on the tablet. And I've got the Samsung Gear goggles. They're around here someplace.
Yeah, I got Samsung goggles too.
Gotten figured out how to get the GoPro in mono into. I have to go buy a $20 set of VR goggles for first person.
Yeah.
GoPro, listen.
Well, I tell you, GoPro keeps a lot of things secret. The wiring to get an external mic working in this GoPro was not an easy thing. I did a lot of searching on the internet. Everybody had all different ways, and none of them would hardly work. And I ended up building a custom cable to get the audio into the GoPro here, where it senses it properly. But it's working good now.
And that's on the into the HDMI jack, right?
No, it's into the USB jack.
I don't need sound on my copter. The only reason I have the quadcopter is because I want to fly antenna wires into trees accurately.
Yeah.
It's a little safer than my crossbow.
Yeah. And of course, that GoPro, it does have a HDMI output. I plugged it in here to our webcast before, and I don't think the video is as good as this camera here. This is a Canon G20 here. But I mean, it did pretty good when I wore it on a helmet, and I did that zip lining across the Smoky Mountains. It took some great pictures.
Yeah, I want to go do that. When we hit the Airstream, man, there's all kinds of things I got to do before I can't do them anymore. So that's I got to do a zip line somewhere.
Yeah.
Tom, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If you're doing all your prize giveaways at the Hamvention, we're supposed to be watching you live. How are people that are walking around the Hamvention able to win something?
Well, this is intended for, basically, in theory, it's intended for people that can't go to Hamvention. They're either too young, or they don't have the money to go, or they're sick, or there's there's so many people that can't go, and we wanted to do this for those people and make them feel like they've got the experience of being there, not only by seeing everything and seeing famous people and interviews and stuff, but also winning prizes. And we'll give away probably more prizes than a lot of small Hamfest giveaway, actually.
Don't get me wrong. I don't disagree. I just wonder.
Yeah. Now, people, if you've got a phone, you can bring the chat room up on a smartphone, and you can have the chat room on there. And if your name's called, your phone will probably ding when your name is called, and all you got to do is just type here, or I'm here, or yes. And to me, I don't care where you are. You could be at Hamfest, but I don't think many people are going to be walking around carrying their phone, watching the chat room.
Yeah. Oh, like I said, I don't disagree. I was just curious.
Yeah.
I was thinking of buying a dinner ticket just for a shot at the 6,300. So flex, but I may have to earn it the honest way and say let me buy it.
That way stinks.
Sorry?
That way stinks having to pay for it.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah. Got to do what you got to do. It's gonna save your money.
I just want to say I really enjoyed tonight's program and your talk afterwards, but I got to get to work in the morning, so I'll say 73 and thanks again.
Well,
good night, Ernie.
Okay, Ernie. Yeah, glad to have you, man. We'll see you later.
Yeah, well, in 2 days there won't be any work for me. I gotta go find some again.
Oh yeah.
Suck.
Well, why don't you just retire?
Well, my wife says, you know, she's a couple years older than I am. She says I can't retire before she does, especially if I don't want to buy any more ham gear.
Oh, let me tell you, man. You know, I'm older than my wife, and she retired before I did. I thought I was going to retire first. Man. But it all worked out okay, I guess.
Well, you got all that stuff in the closet and in the attic and whatever, Tom. I mean, you know, you're sitting on a gold mine.
Well, what's the saying? What one person's trash is another person's. One person's trash is another person's something. You call it a gold mine?
I got my pile of old radio stuff, and it's at best e-waste. It's more hassle to get rid of it on eBay or haul it to a Hamfest than it is just to call the e-waste guy and say, hey, I got 500 pounds here, come get it.
I've got some brand new radios that are still in boxes. I've never taken out of the box yet.
Like I sold an old military, well, not really an old military, Israeli-made ALE-1 HF rig, and I thought, you know, I'll be lucky to get a couple $100 for this. And man, some guy just kind of snapped it up and almost paid for a flex. But by the time I got done with the eBay fees on it, that didn't. You know, oh well, crap.
Oh yeah, that eBay is well. That's all I'll say about that.
See, I've got a vintage 820, a Kenwood 820 over here with matching speaker, matching external VFO, matching tuner. It takes up about 4 feet on the desk, and I need to just get it off the desk so I have more room for my other radios. And man, I've always wanted to hold on to it, but I think I'm ready to get rid of it. But I've started trying to see what the value is, and you know, people are telling me, and you know, when I add those pieces up on eBay, it's you know, $700-800, and I'm hearing people tell me they wouldn't take less than $1,000 for it. But I don't think I'll get that.
Altogether.
I don't think I'll get that. And another thing I can't sell on eBay. The transceiver alone weighs about 50 pounds.
Yeah, but the buyer pays the freight.
Well, yeah, I guess. You know, give me $950 for the radio and another $482 for the shipping.
Yeah, well, actually, with eBay/PayPal's deal with UPS, that whole thing would probably cost about, at worst case, $60 to ship.
Oh, really? Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, the rig doesn't weigh anything. It's a damn power supply.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, that's inside the radio, you know.
So what you do is you box it up separately so that your whole shipment isn't bogged down by the cost of the power supply.
Well, I don't think that power supply lifts out of there very easily. I mean, this radio has a transformer and everything that's mounted to the chassis inside.
Oh yeah.
Oh, inside.
Okay. Yeah, it's a 110 volt rig. It will run on 12 volts. So I've added the 12 volt converter to the back of the radio even, but it's a 110 volt radio.
That's right. Some of those rigs, you know, get one of the Collinses and the power supply is separate. But yeah, the 520 was a nice rig. I had an 820 for a while.
Yeah, this is an 820. This is an 820.
Yeah. Well, you get rid of some of it. If you get any more than a couple $100 for it, it's worth putting on eBay. If it's anything less than that, it's not worth your trouble. But you can't retire off. You can't retire off that stuff.
No.
I've got a micro repeater sitting outside. I can't get rid of it.
I gave away a micro repeater here last year.
I say the PA's out of them because I know where to slice the break between the PA stages, so that 60 or 75 watt PA will last a lifetime. You can decide whether you want to feed it with 200 milliwatts.
In fact, you know what? I gave away a micro repeater and everything here a while back, but I had hundreds of cards that fit in it, and I put those up on eBay here a while back. I laid all those cards out and took a picture. I think it was 40 or 50 cards. And somebody bought those from me. I just threw them all in a box and shipped them to him.
The only one of those cards that's really worth any money is the audio squelch. Is the squelch board?
Yeah.
Micro squelch chip costs you $20 if you can still get them from Motorola.
Yeah.
And I grab every one of those. I strip every one of those I can find. I probably have 20 micro squelch chips because I saved all the cards and the mobile audio stages just to rip that chip out of them. Because I use the micro squelch and the repeaters.
Yeah, I see them talking on the chat room about my mices here. Let me see. Where do I get the right mouse here? If I can find the right camera. There we go. Yeah, 4 mouses, man. I got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Pick this.
All right, so you need to learn about a little program.
I know.
Let me find out what it is.
I know. But you're gonna have to come here and teach it to me because I'm too old to learn by myself.
Okay, if I come out there, I'm bringing Bill Hudson. We're going to broadcastify your audio, and we're going to get you all tuned up. But there's a Microsoft program share a mouse across systems. So you only have to worry about one mouse or trackball, and you just it's a lot of real estate to go 6 feet across the desk. But
yeah, I may have to look into that. I mean, I need to do something.
Damn thing called? Let me find out here. It's sitting here because I use it on my work system because I don't have enough room for all my keyboards. It's called Mouse Without Borders.
Okay, all right.
And it will allow you to run four PCs. You just kind of they know about each other on the network that they're running, and you just scoot the mouse across. You got four systems there, so you're set.
Well, guys, I ran the show here tonight without Kathy. I was by myself here tonight. No help at all. Kathy's over in North Carolina. Here's where she is.
Nice. Where's
we got a home over in the Smokies over there. We get to about 1 week or 2 week a year. I think this year we'll probably be over 3 or 4 times. But man, some years we only get over one time. But
you got a big shed I can pull my Airstream into. We need to put up a couple of
there's a big double garage here off the right, but it's probably the doors probably aren't high enough for an Airstream.
Darn, I got to winterize. Yeah, well, but a beautiful property. Look at that fence and everything. That's nice.
Yeah, there's about 40 acres there. It goes up the mountain right there behind it. Anyway,
look at all them trees.
Yeah, look at all the loop you can run up there, dude.
When I go over, looking at the house there, you'll see a tall tree to the right. Usually when I go there, I'll just shoot a line over a tree limb about 75 feet in the air, pull me up a vertical, and I'll lay about 4 radios down on the ground, put my auto tuner right there at the base of it, and I sit on the front porch there and operate.
All right, well, I'm going to have to find I can't screen share here, but... I'll have to send you. There's I can put a link to the thing in my
Well, we like to, hey, if I can automate and improve, here's our virtual presence device we've already added to the show where you don't have to be here. We'll just bring you into the show with our virtual presence device. And by the way, this thing here, this is called the personal interviewing gadget, what normally called the PIG, the personal interviewing gadget. So if you're there, if I say take the PIG, and you go out, that's what we're referring to.
All right. Well, check the Hangout. I posted a link in the Hangouts chat.
Oh, let's see. Let me get you on here. You got a link. Let's see. Oh, there's the chat right there. You posted in a chat room? Oh, you posted in a chat room. I was looking on Hangout.
Oh, it's in Hangout.
It's in Hangout chat room.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Hangout's message box.
What? I don't see anything. I clicked on it and it says type here to send a message. Let's see.
Well, click the arrow above it there, Tom.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah, I see it. Okay, I see it. Let me pull that up. Coming up.
Screen share that. I'll walk you through that.
Yeah. Okay, it's up right now. What are we looking at?
All right, that is Sutro Tower in the highest point in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's a 950-foot broadcast tower.
Okay.
With 5 levels of radio gear. So all those cross struts are structures where there's equipment.
Yeah, that's cool.
And all the at the top, level 7 is where all the high power transmitters are. I've got a repeater on level 4, which is 300 and some odd feet above the ground. But that the rigger has started to set a calculated long wire drop to the bottom. We're gonna shunt feed that tower for 160.
That might be interesting.
Oh, they have a full wave. They have a full wave 160 meter dipole in one of the buildings down at MIT in Boston. I went over there, and I'm telling you, they have a tunnel, and you look up, and all you see is the wire going all the way up to the top.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the coolest stations, I never worked HF at it, was the Cheltenham Naval Air Station in Maryland. They had it was a Navy comm center. They had an 84-foot polar mounted dish, which was engineered to track the moon for moon bounce to secretly try to communicate with ships at sea. They gave that to the Ham Club. That was reworked with a 5,000 watt amplifier. They had an STA, and you work moon bounce at 2 to 3 words a minute CW, and you use the side tone of the plate transformer to know what you're sending. It's quite an experience. And out in the woods, they had a rhombic, I think 3 or 4 rhombics in each direction, quarter back to the main shack, and you just grab the coax out of the HF rig, decided which band you wanted to operate on, plug it into the rhombic of choice, and just a crazy station. I don't know whatever they probably bulldozed it over and made it condos by now, but this Sutro Tower is quite an immense structure, and you go through the album. The sunny pictures are of my tour before I actually installed the repeater, and then I think not the last page. Back up one more. Next. So the second page, third row, third photo over is where my repeater is located at 300 and 430 feet in the air. The transmit antennas, the level 6 near the top is all receive antennas only. There's no transmitters up there, so all the master receive stuff is processed and filtered at that level, preamped for levels. You just tap off whatever band receive antenna.
Big tower.
And then
man.
Sorry?
It's a big tower, man, to have all that stuff on it.
It's quite impressive, and it's the first time I went up and did the repeater install, and it's fine hanging out. And all used to be that all that space that's got that looks like that's covered used to be open, so your repeater had to be in an outdoor rack because you were totally exposed to the weather. And then for aesthetics, they wrapped them all in corrugated steel sheet.
Yeah.
So it's like you get out of the elevator and it's like you're in a building, except when you get to level 6, and you step out of that elevator and it's you in steel grate. It's kind of wild stepping off at 700 feet.
There's the wave pattern for the 5130 transmitter we're on Tuesday night.
Oh. And where's he transmitting from? Let me see the states. Oh, he's up in the northeast.
It's up in Monticello, Maine. It's right on the border of Maine and Canada. So
he's got some pattern in Europe. He'll cover.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of north. This is what it is. It's beamed from Mexico City. Shorewave stations have to have a destination country they're aimed at. So this is designed to be aimed at Mexico City. So, off the backside back there, there's some Europe back there.
Well, no wonder I can't hear it out here.
Yeah, you're out there. It's not a whole lot out there now. It has been heard out there. It just depends on propagation and different things. But that's kind of what we got there.
Well, maybe you need a West Coast partner. We can put one up in. I know a guy's got some property up in Washington, but I can probably get that up on a mountaintop and.
Well, yeah.
That's a pretty nice pattern.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, guys, it's getting really late here. I need to probably turn the webcast off before I fill up YouTube's server.
Yeah, you don't want to run out of drive space.
I may make YouTube send me a letter that that I keep using up all their storage. So I'll go in here and I'll cut the music off the front of the show, and we'll have the show ready for everybody can see it. So see, Kurt said good signal in New Jersey tonight. Of course, he's up there close. Of course, you can be too close and not hear it. So anyway, I'll say good night to everybody, and
good night, everybody.
also we'll Chicken will say good night. We'll say good night to everybody.
I got my Floyd back here. He's kind of lounging out and hanging out in the hammock up here.
All right.
Chicken and Floyd can have a thing going.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you guys later.
All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for watching tonight with whoever's left. Let's see. It says that we still got 23 people watching. I'll give you a little excitement. This is me. I'll give you a little excitement here right toward the end of the show. Here we go. Just a week. Well, we've got a home over here in North Carolina.
That's a nice break, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's hang tight here. Wait for that clear. Yeah, to me this is like the best.
Yeah.
Alright, so go ahead and hop on down.
Alright, we ready to go?
Yeah, make sure you pan around with that camera.
Alright.
I'll see you on the other side.
Alright.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer.
You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.